Hello, my name is Debbie. I want to tell you a little bit about the beginnings of Spring Center of Learning. I'm a grandmother, and I have noticed over the course of my children growing up, and as my grandchildren are now growing up, there was definitely a different style of learning between all of those children. Some of them went to school in a very easy way, got good grades. Others struggled a little bit, but there was one or two that struggled a lot. I began to talk to other grandmothers and parents, and there was always one or two in a family who really struggled in school. That struggling was not only because of school. It became difficult in the home for homework and for, it just brought a lot of stress to the home. And it became to be behavioral problems for that child. I talked for a number of years about that, and I began to look into some schools that could possibly offer something different. I checked on the internet and saw a wide variety of non-traditional schools that would focus on the child's learning style. There were some that were called holistic, some who were called adventure-based, some were called project learning. None of them quite seemed to fit, and in addition, none of them were Christian-based. Well, I began to realize that hands-on learning was the key. If the children were able to study and learn as they worked, the learning seemed to impact their brain a lot better. I began to talk to some educators who knew much more about this than I did, and we began to come to the conclusion that right here in Lancaster County, we have things we need to make a hands-on learning center. So that's where it began. My granddaughters were part of this beginning pilot program, and we saw how their learning ability greatly increased. We saw that they really did learn much better by association, not necessarily in a linear style. So it was because of that that we began to realize we're really onto something here. We need to keep pursuing. As we got teachers who knew much more about it than we did, they explained why this worked so well. So the hands-on became sort of our style, and we began to develop more and more situations where the children would learn all of the subjects by hands-on learning. So we have ended up with things like a kitchen where students can integrate a lot of learning, cooking, baking, recipes, doubling a recipe, all the fractions that are in a recipe. But in addition to that, there is freezing and canning and drying. Good skills for any woman or man for that matter. In addition to that, there is farm animals and all the biology and chemistry that goes into the feed and the animal itself. Then there's woodworking and pottery. All of these things are excellent ways for students who learn best with hands-on learning to put their hands in a position where they will learn, they will sense, they will do, they will make, and they understand how one thing is actually associated to another. And all of their academics suddenly became much easier for them. The greenhouse was just an excellent place to learn many scientific, mathematical, even history projects with excellent teachers who know how to integrate all of the academic subjects. As a grandmother, I was very happy to be able to offer this to our grandchildren. As a mother, I was very happy to see our children have less stress with the children who have been learning in a difficult way. And many other students who are coming are singing the praises of how much better this school is for them. The learning centers provide a relaxed atmosphere where learning can be fun, a relaxed atmosphere where they can ask questions because they associate one learning with another. Their learning is not necessarily linear, it becomes circular. And a good teacher knows how to bring it all around back to what the principle is that they're learning in the first place, We have excellent teachers, very experienced, and we're delighted to have them. So if you know of a student who prefers to learn by hands-on learning or needs to learn with hands-on learning, consider Spring Center of Learning. Parents are appreciating this style very much. It prepares their student for jobs in the future. It prepares them for college, whatever their choice may be. But in addition, and the most important thing, is that it helps the adolescent and the teenager have an enjoyable school experience during this time. You will be glad you looked into what we offer, and your student will thank you.